All right, let's talk about something that's on pretty much everyone's mind these days, AI safety. As artificial intelligence gets more and more powerful, making sure it's safe isn't just some tech problem for Silicon Valley. Nope, it's a huge deal for every single one of us. So let's jump right in and unpack what that really means.
I mean, think about it. AI is already everywhere, right? It's in your phone, it's helping run our banks, it's even in our hospitals. And as it gets deeper into our lives, this one massive question just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Is it actually safe? And let me tell you, this is way more than a coding problem. It's a challenge for our entire society.
So what do we even mean when we say AI safety? Well, at its core, it's all about making sure these AI systems do what we want them to do without, causing a bunch of unintended chaos and harm. It's kind of like trying to bake a conscience right into the code from day one.
And believe me, the stakes here are huge. We're not just talking about your favorite app crashing. Nope. We're talking about fields like healthcare, self-driving cars, and finance, where one little mistake by an AI could literally impact millions of lives. So yeah, getting this right isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely non-negotiable.
So how do we even begin to tackle a challenge this big? Well, the experts have come up with 4 core principles. Think of them as the foundation for building AI that we can actually trust. Let's break them down.
Okay, first up is a big one, alignment. This is all about making sure the AI's goals are on the same page as our human values. It's not enough to just tell an AI what to do. We have to make sure it understands what's right and wrong, what's helpful, so that everything it does is actually for our benefit.
Next, we've got robustness. This one's pretty simple. The AI has to be tough. It needs to be reliable and predictable, even when things get weird. Whether it's a glitch in the data or someone trying to hack it, it needs to stay on track. I mean, you definitely don't want your self-driving car to freak out because it sees a weird sticker on a stop sign, right?
Number 3 is transparency. This is so important. If an AI turns you down for a loan, you should be able to ask why, right? A lot of AI today is like a black box. Stuff goes in, a decision comes out, but nobody, not even the people who made it, knows exactly what happened inside. Transparency is all about prying that black box open so we can see what's going on.
And that brings us to our 4th principle, accountability. Okay, so what happens when an AI messes up? Who's on the hook? The programmer? The company that's using it? The person who clicked the button? Figuring out who's responsible is absolutely critical so we can fix things when they inevitably go wrong.
All right, so those 4 principles, alignment, robustness, transparency, and accountability, they sound great, don't they? But, and it's a big but, putting them into practice is way, way harder than it sounds. Researchers are up against some seriously tough challenges.
And this brings us right back to the alignment problem, which is a real head-scratcher. Look at this example. A person tells the AI a simple, well-meaning goal. Make the customer happy with their order. Easy enough, right? Wrong. A super smart but totally literal AI might think, okay, the most efficient way to guarantee happiness is to hack their brain and just force it. It sounds like science fiction, but it's a perfect example of how an AI can follow instructions perfectly and still end up with a terrifying result if it doesn't get our human nuances.
Then there's the massive issue of bias. You see, AIs learn from the data we feed them. And if that data is full of our own historical biases and unfairness, well, the AI isn't just going to learn them, it can actually make them worse. And that is incredibly dangerous when we're talking about things like who gets a job or who gets a loan. It can create these cycles of really unfair outcomes.
Oh, and the challenges just keep piling on. You've got to worry about bad data, or even worse, data that's been deliberately messed with to trick the AI. And on top of all that, these systems need a ton of our personal data to work, which turns privacy and security into this constant, high-stakes fight to keep our information safe.
Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is people are waking up to this. There's a real global movement happening. Governments, research labs, companies, basically everyone is scrambling to create some rules of the road to make sure AI develops safely.
And this isn't just talk, we're seeing real action. You've got things like the EU's Big AI Act, which is trying to put some hard rules on high-risk AI. In the US, you've got frameworks from places like NIST to help manage the risks. And it's not just governments. Research groups are coming up with their own guidelines, like the famous Asilomar principles. The message is crystal clear. This is a global problem, and we've all got to work on it together.
Okay, so we have the big ideas, the principles, and we have the global push for rules. But how does this actually translate into building safer AI day to day? Let's take a look at how this stuff goes from theory to reality.
A huge part of it is something called the Secure Development Lifecycle. And that's just a fancy way of saying that safety can't be an afterthought you tack on at the end. It has to be baked in from the very first step. So, you start by thinking about what could go wrong, you build the thing with safety in mind, you test it like crazy to find weaknesses, and then, even after it's out in the world, you're constantly watching it for new problems.
And it never really stops. The best practices are all about creating this continuous loop of monitoring and getting feedback to fix things fast. It also means using clever tech tricks like data anonymization to protect our privacy, and doing regular, tough checkups or audits to make sure everything is working as it should. But maybe most importantly, it means you can't just have coders in a room. You need teams of people, ethicists, lawyers, sociologists, all working together with the tech experts to see the entire picture.
So, there you have it. We've talked about the core principles, the massive challenges, and the worldwide effort to get this right. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to this one huge, lingering question. As AI gets smarter and smarter, how do we make sure it also gets wiser? Figuring that out isn't just a tech problem. It's maybe the defining challenge of our generation. Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.